Another fundamental part of reducing your risk of falling includes strength training. So we want to make sure your legs are nice and strong so that they can keep you stable. So I'm going to teach you a couple of exercises to work on them. So as you see again, I have my chair up against the wall. It's nice and stable. It has some armrests, and then I have my support chair here as well. So what you're going to do, and of course this chair would be directly in front of me, but because I want you guys to see, it's off to the side right now, is we're going to practice sit to stands. So you're going to scoot to the edge of your chair, and I would prefer if you didn't use your hands, but if you have to, you absolutely can. So if you can do it without using your hands, we're going to perform sit to stands. So you want your feet underneath your knees, and if you bring them back a little bit, that makes them stronger. So if you'll see, it's not directly 90-90, it's just a little bit behind there. So you can either use your hands and rise here, but if you don't need them, just go ahead and keep your hands either crossed over your chest or hovering over the chair, depending on how good you feel about that. So start out with your hands hovering over the chair here, like this. And then when you sit back down, I want you to make sure you go nice and slow, not plop down into the seat. So you're going to do 10 of those. Just like that. And you can do these multiple times, or you can increase the number of times as you do this as you get better at doing them. But let's try and start with them. And if you do feel to like we're the point where you're having troubles getting up and it feels a little bit unsteady, you can go ahead and stop there. That's enough for you. You don't have to go past that. But maybe next week try doing one more on top of the ones that you did last week. So from here, we can also stand and do what's called a mini squat. So I'm going to do it from the side so that you can see. But you can hover your hands over your chair, put your feet about shoulder width apart, and then just move down a couple of inches and come back up. Good. And you see I'm not going very far down. I'm only going a couple of inches and coming up. Make sure that your knees don't go towards the middle or anything like that. You want them to stay nice and straight. Just like that. Almost like you're going to take a seat, but you just come right back up instead of sitting down. So you can do another couple of 10 of those if you feel okay. Another thing that you can do is called marches. We actually talked about doing them for the orthostatic hypotension video if you watched that. But what you're going to do is stand, hover your hands or hold on depending on your balance, and pick one knee up, put it down, and then lift the other knee. And keep on going. Notice that I'm not bending over and I'm not falling backwards. So I'm trying to bring my knee as high as I can, but as safely as I can. Good. And you can do 5 to 10 on each side, depending on how you feel doing them and how your balance is. So those are the marches. And then we have calf raises. So we also did those in the orthostatic hypotension video. You can hold on to the chair here, and what you're going to do is put your feet at their normal width and just rise up onto the ball of your feet and your toes and then go back down. The key with this one is to go slow and controlled back down. That's what builds the muscle and makes you really strong, is that slow, controlled motion back downward. And once again, you can do about 10 of those. Now we want to work a little bit on this back muscle right here. So what you're going to do is lift your heel towards your butt. So I'm putting all my weight on one leg, and you can hold on to the chair for this one for balance. But you're just going to lift your leg and bring it back down. And I'm not putting any weight when I'm bringing this one back down. And then you can switch sides and do the same thing on your left side. Good. And so you can do 10 on each side for that one too. And then like I said earlier, if you get really good at those and those feel easy, you can add more on. And actually the counter is true as well. If it's really hard to do 10, maybe go down to 8 or 6 and see how those feel. But you want it to be a little bit challenging.